All right, so welcome back to Circulus, a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons homebrew campaign. I am the Dungeon Master, Crash, and with me today we have a smaller group. We have Logan and Tom. So, Logan, who are you playing?
I am Phoenix. I am a Dragonborn Paladin.
And Tom?
I am Panqarim Darkstone, a deep gnome Barbarian.
Okay, and we would normally also have Chris and Eric with us, but they are unfortunately AFK this evening, but they will be joining us in the next session, hopefully. So to recap, you made your way through the dead swamp known as the Gores, almost without incident, though you very quickly learned that things that die here don't stay dead, as old Bob so elegantly put it. Fortunately, the onset of winter weather left most of the undead trapped in the frozen muck and ice. On the second day, you encountered a patrol from Coomridge, or at least what was left of it. 4 guards dead, 3 apparently at the hands of zombies that had also recently been slain. The only survivor was a sergeant named Brent Guttig, who had unfortunately been blinded during the attack by what he would only describe as a multitude of eyes. Sergeant Guttig was a broken man, not just because of the loss of his men, but because there was evidence that, once blinded, he had accidentally killed one of his men when swinging wildly. Upon arriving in Coomridge and settling into your rooms in the Blue Bucket, the finest and only inn in Coomridge Keep, you were summoned to the keep itself to answer to the guard commander's inquiries on the incident. Before leaving, you stopped by the office of the steward, a dwarf named Geckert Irongut, to see if there was any work you could do that didn't involve babysitting merchants. Most of his tasks were not suited for skilled adventurers, but he did have 3 of interest. The first was investigate signs of goblins to the south. The second was check on Marwood Lake Forest, an elf living in a tower to the north. And the third was investigating whatever's been taking the eyes from the undead, and now, obviously, also the living. You could also sit in the inn and just hang out by the fire and while away the winter playing card games, if you want to do that instead. Hearthstone does not exist in this world, so unfortunately you're not going to be able to play that particular game. But what you do at this point is up to you. So, what do you do?
I was thinking maybe investigate the goblins.
Yeah, I'd probably say that too.
Because when they say investigate goblins, I mean, that sounds like it could be very open-ended. It could be, we confirm there's a camp. You know,
a group of goblins, Tom jumping into the group of goblins.
Well,
exactly.
They don't know if there's goblins or not. There
Right,
are farmers that have reported that they think there's goblins to the south.
Okay.
But
We can.
for what you've learned from Geckert, sometimes they'll report that they think there's goblins or whatever, but it turns out it's just, well, they went hunting for deer and came back empty-handed a few times, so like, goblins got them or whatever.
I gotcha.
So
Okay.
they need someone to confirm whether or not there's actually goblins before they
Okay.
send the guard out to wipe them out or something.
Yeah, we can. Let's check that out.
Okay. So you're not going to be doing that today, most likely, because the day is almost half over already, and you really think that spending the night in a room in an inn might be nice for a change.
Yes.
But you do have the remainder of the day to go through town and buy anything you need to buy. Pretty much the prices that are in the player's handbook are available to you. So any of the items for that price you can get. However, on your way out of the keep, you are stopped by a significant number of guards who basically they know that you're the adventurers that brought Sergeant Guttig back, and these are all people who've served under Sergeant Gutug, and they're very grateful that you brought him back.
All right.
So, as a token of their appreciation, they actually allow you to have, and I'll have to talk to Akari and Eric about this when they return, because their characters are present, so they can do this also. They allow you to have a selection of items from their armory. So if you want chainmail armor, you can equip that for free at this point. Their standard issue weapons involve long swords, so if you want a long sword, you can have that for free. And they do have arrows, so Akari might choose to have to up the number of arrows that he has for his bow, but I don't think either of you has ranged weapons.
I don't know.
Okay. So that won't be an issue, but if you want to equip chainmail armor or get a longsword, you can do that now.
That might be more something Fenix can use than me.
The longsword, two-handed?
A longsword can be used one-handed or two-handed.
Yeah, I'll take the longsword and the chain.
Okay. You have the remainder of the evening to get dinner, which is free thanks to the deal you made with Dibs when you were babysitting that particular merchant, and buy anything off of the equipment list.
Because right now I think, just light leather. What kind of armor, per se, can a barbarian wear?
Well, let's look that up.
Okay.
You are proficient in light and medium armor. Chainmail counts as a medium armor. So
okay.
you can equip chainmail if you want to. And Coomridge Guard...
My size.
The Coomridge Guard are racially diverse, so they do have chainmail that fits you.
Over in the toddler section, right?
How do you armor in D&D?
Well, technically, the armor that they have was made for a halfling, but halflings and gnomes are relatively the same size, so
okay.
it works for you. Chainmail isn't worn just by itself. You would have you'd have cloth and leather underneath it, and also you'll have your winter gear over top of it. So it's not like there's going to be chafing.
Okay.
Logan, what was your question?
How do you equip stuff in D&D Beyond?
That's a very good question. I wish I had a very good answer for you.
You can you screen equipment is, and then you add items, and then when you have I have my mace, I think when you click on it, there's an option to equip.
Customize?
Yeah. And then I remember seeing a thing to equip. So, just a question also about the armor. Then does that then affects my dexterity, right?
What's your dexterity bonus?
2.
2?
Yeah.
It does not affect your dexterity bonus. If your dexterity was higher than that, it would bring it down to 2.
Okay. Then I guess what I'll do is, if I can get the chainmail armor, I'll do that.
All right, then you do so.
So let me go find that then.
Now, do you have a player's handbook in front of you, or are you using the website?
No, sir. Just using the website here.
Okay. Then telling you what page the equipment is on will not help you.
Longsword, right?
Yes, they use longswords.
Wait, does that mean I have 3 weapons?
If you choose to keep carrying around your great club, yes. And that is an option. There are some creatures that are more susceptible to one style of damage versus another. That's why, if you look on your character sheet, it actually points out that your great club does bludgeoning damage, as opposed to the longsword, which I believe does slashing damage.
Okay, so I'm looking the items they have on here. Chain shirt. So is that about what we're looking at?
Yes, that would be the chainmail.
Alrighty. Add that.
Does not cover your legs, does not include gloves or a helmet, but it still protects you somewhat.
Okay.
When it says 1d10 below 1d8,
for the longsword, it's showing you what damage it does if you're using it two-handed or one-handed. It's 1d8 if you use it one-handed, but because the longsword is a weapon that's considered versatile, you could also use it two-handed for the chance of doing more damage. Now, for you specifically, for Fenix specifically, because you picked dueling as your fighting style, it wouldn't make sense for you to use the longsword two-handed except for style, just because you get a +2 to damage when using it one-handed. And 1d8 +2 versus 1d10, they both have the same maximum, but you're going to have a higher mathematical chance of doing more damage using it one-handed because of your Paladin bonus that you have.
makes sense.
Okay. So I'll just stay with the can opener as my weapon for now. Really
Good.
handle.
I'd kind of be disappointed if you didn't.
Yes. Is able to use a shield though?
I do believe
I think
barbarians
so.
can use shields. I thought I saw that, and I flipped away from the page.
I'm thinking about it at some point. I might.
You do have a weapon proficiency in shields.
Okay.
For you, it's light and medium armor, shields, and simple and martial weapons. So for any of those, you can use them. And
Okay.
when you're using the weapons in particular, your proficiency bonus gets added to your attack roll.
Okay.
Which should already, because you're using D&D Beyond, it should configure that and show you that number already.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I like about this. It just
It
seems
does the
to click
math
it.
for you.
Yes.
That is quite nice.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm thinking later on, we'll see how things progress. I don't suspect he's going to be a tank. I think he's more of a DPS, but we'll see how things progress. So,
I'm gonna grin at you.
yep.
Okay, so is there any equipment you choose to get before night falls, or no?
I mean, I just got the chain shirt. I can't really add anything else, right?
I'm not talking about equipment from the guard's armory anymore. That was
Oh,
stuff for
I'm
free.
sorry.
But you
okay,
also
okay.
the shops aren't closed. If you want to go
I
into
gotcha.
town and buy 50 feet of rope, or
Oh.
you don't have enough. You don't have enough money for buying magical items at this point.
I gotcha.
But
Yeah,
with the 20 gold you got as a bonus from
Yeah.
Dibs, there's plenty of generic equipment that you could get.
Yeah, let's look for some rope. Do we have kind of like I don't remember if we have kind of a standard adventurer's kit with like, stuff for starting a fire and things like that?
I believe you did. What you started with depended on your background that you selected.
I started out with a playing card set.
Because I'm just thinking before we leave, we ought to have some rope. Healing potions? Anybody sell those?
They do, but they're out of your price range.
Right. Okay.
There's one shop in town that sells healing potions. They're a specialty shop, and there's gold inlay on their sign,
Oh boy.
which pretty much points out, that's out of my price range. But there's a layer of dust that's on their doorstep because their prices are high enough that the local populace doesn't even bother.
2,000 platinum ingot.
Yeah, so I'm thinking definitely get some rope. I mean, we have weapons.
You picked criminal as your background, right?
Uh-huh.
So your
Oh my
starting
God.
equipment was
Mhm.
your can opener,
Mm-hmm.
dark common clothes, including a hood, and a pouch containing 15 gold pieces. It didn't start you off with anything else.
Okay. I'm supposed to have a contact, actually, but I don't know if that contact would be in this town. But I don't think I ever fleshed out the contact.
They would not be in this town.
Okay.
Stepping back from the actual gameplay, we can get that in plot-wise as
Yeah,
the game progresses, but at this point, you're new in town. You have never been here before.
Right.
So
right.
the only contacts you have in this town that you have any familiarity with are Dibs and Old Bob.
Okay.
Are they any backpacks?
Oh yeah, so far as I'm concerned, you're starting with a backpack. You were traveling with it.
Do I just add that to my thing already?
You can.
So since it's evening, I guess we'll just spend the night here. Maybe just go to the inn and climb up to the bar and see if there's anybody interesting around.
Up to the bar.
It turns out that the most interesting people at the bar are your party.
We are the party.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, most of the locals are locals. So, while Coomridge Keep is the most racially diverse town in all of Coomridge, it's still very monoculturally. It's like 99% human, with every now and then a halfling or a half elf, or sometimes even an elf or a dwarf thrown in for the mix.
Gotcha.
Fenix stands out like a sore thumb. There are people who have not even been involved in the conversation. Their mulled cider goes cold because they just spend the entire time just staring at him.
I'm a dwarf. This dude's a dragonborn. I'm gonna climb on him.
Well, they've seen dwarves before. They've even seen gnomes before, although it's rare. Gnomes in the world of Circulus are very reclusive. That they tend to be paranoid for good reason, not so much because of other races, but because of other gnomes. So they tend to build their workshops out of the way. But they know what gnomes look like. They've seen gnomes. They've seen plenty of dwarves. They've seen elves. They have never seen a dragonborn.
Well, you feast your eyes on it. If you touch me, I'll golden dragon breath on your face.
Okay, so basically, Fenix notices that everyone's staring at him, and he just flexes a little bit and shows
Should
up.
I roll?
Roll for what?
For flexing, I want to see that.
You know what? Go ahead. Give me a strength.
Performance. Yeah.
That is a 16.
So you rolled a 16?
Yeah.
Okay, so since it's a strength check, you add your strength bonus.
That's 16.
You rolled a 16, your strength bonus is 3. That should be a 19.
I rolled a 13, and then I got
okay.
plus
Okay. So you were adding it. Okay. So, all right. So you impress a few of the locals. A couple applaud. Some people call you a show-off. But, it's exactly what would happen if you just go into a random bar and start flexing in front of people. You are a bit of a sideshow because they've never seen a Dragonborn before, but some of them sort of get the sense that you're trying to milk it for attention.
Heck yeah, I am.
I didn't say they were wrong. I'm just saying they caught on. So you impress a few people, and some people get annoyed that you're impressing a few people. But the night is otherwise uneventful.
Okay.
In the morning, the party splits up a little bit, and I'm doing this specifically because we have two members of the party that are not here. So Vex goes off and does Vex type stuff. I'll let Akari decide what that is when he returns. Eric's character Obaim decides that he's going to talk to the dwarves and the local chapter of their church. He has some questions about their faith and the area and everything, so he's going to spend some time talking with the dwarves about that, but that means that he will not be spending the day with you. Now, Fenix, as this is his first day after a long rest, after he reached level 2, this is your first chance where, as you are getting up in the morning and you're doing your morning routine where you are praying to your deity, who I believe is Bahamut. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. This is your first chance where you actually get spells, and we talked about this before game, which spells you were getting. Now, you've seen Obaim do this in your travels. And maybe it's because this is just the first time where you are actually getting spells from your deity. Maybe not, you're not sure, but it seems like this is a bit harder than it always seemed like it was for Obaim. It seemed like he was having an easier time with it than you are. You feel just a little worn out afterwards. You do get your spells, but there was just a bit of a struggle in there.
Oh God!
The struggle wasn't like you were playing tug of war. The struggle was like you had a very difficult math problem to solve, and you had to juggle a lot of stuff in your head.
I have a Dragonborn. What do you expect?
Well, this wasn't a strength thing. This was a mental thing.
Exactly.
You feel like you just crammed for a test, and you're not entirely sure you're remembering all the answers.
Wow.
Yeah, your head is full.
Full of
Stuff.
not knowledge.
Full of 2 spells.
Yeah.
But, that's 2 more spells than you had before, so that's a lot. Alright, so because half of your party is going off and doing their own things, the 2 of you have decided you're going to go investigate the goblins to the south. So,
right.
as you're leaving Coomridge Keep, there is a wall. There's that huge wall you saw that separates Coomridge Keep from the Gores, which is the swamp filled with all those horrible things. There is a shorter wall on the other side of Coomridge Keep that separates Coomridge Keep from the rest of Coomridge. You could easily climb over this wall. You get the sense that wall isn't there to keep people from getting through. But there's guards at various places, and they let you through just fine. They wave at you. The novelty of having a Dragonborn has worn off on the guards pretty fast, actually.
They just look at me and just say they just don't like me.
No, it's not that they dislike you. It's that they're not staring at you because, oh my gosh, Dragonborn.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, so it's Dragonborn. Okay.
They're used to you now.
They see you as a person, not that Dragonborn over there. They've accepted you. Let's put it that way. Now, something that you notice, I'm not even going to have you roll for perception because this is far below your passive perception. But the roads outside of Coomridge are cleared. A very significant amount of snow fell. It's about 3.5 feet of snow fell yesterday and last night. But the roads are not like, you don't see all the way down to dirt in most places, but it's very easy going. It's not a situation where Panq decides to take a trip into the wilds and then you just see like the top of his hood poking through the snow, and there's a Bugs Bunny style burrow that's going. Yeah. You don't see that here. The snow is piled up on the sides. Apparently, they have some method of plowing snow
Yeah, I was
in
gonna
Kumru,
say.
which would make sense. Just, well, they needed something to do. It's wintertime. There's no crops to harvest.
Yeah.
But the roads, for the most part, are pretty good. So you make decent time.
Alright.
Your gear is warm enough that you're not taking any damage from exposure. So you're
Okay.
doing pretty good. Most of the land that you're traveling through now, as you head south, it's actually more southeast, but you get the idea, is farmland. You know from previous conversations that this farmland it's a mix of wheat farms, potato farms. There's a significant number of farms that will raise sheep and cattle. You wouldn't know by looking at it because it's all just snow-covered fields with regularly spaced farmhouses throughout. However, do give me a perception check,
Okay.
both of you.
14.
14.
Okay, so you see farmhouses.
God.
We haven't seen anybody outside, or it's just
Are you going to actively look for people outside?
sure.
Okay, give me another perception check.
Natural 20.
You see a young lady with red hair, green eyes, and freckles. She has 51 freckles on the left side of her face and 49 freckles on the right side of her face.
It's the little redheaded girl from Charlie Brown.
Oh my god.
Except you're a deep gnome, so she's taller than you.
Yeah.
But basically, you do see someone outside a farm, and they're waving and trying to get to you, but the path from their farmhouse to the road isn't 100% plowed out. But they are waving and trying to get your attention. They're within shouting distance, but casual conversation isn't going to carry that far.
Okay. She doesn't look like she's in distress or anything.
She looks like she's worried.
Okay. All right. Let's come on, Fen. Let's go over there. Talk to her.
Okie dokie.
So we'll go over slowly, and I'm gonna kind of keep my hands up. I normally keep them down by my side. I'm just gonna keep my hands out, like, so she can see me.
Okay, and because the pathway to her isn't plowed out, you know that picture I shared previously where I'm going to turn this Dragonborn right around?
Yep.
Yeah. So Fenix just walks right through the snow without even... It slows you down to half speed, but you are a living snowplow. It's like I'm sure you've seen video online of after a snowfall, like there'll be one dog that just walks through the snow and then a whole bunch of little dogs are following it in the path that it's made.
Yep.
This is the equivalent thing where you have a path. Sorry, Panq has a path dug out for him just because the Dragonborn in front of him just saying, yeah,
Perfect.
going through this. Okay. So once you get close enough, let me look up something. Okay, so the young girl introduces herself as Sybil Baines.
Okay.
And from a distance, she thought you were guards because she saw the chainmail that you were wearing. But she stares at Fenix for a little while because of course she does. However, once she gets over that shock and you ask her what's wrong, she lets you know that she was trying to get some guards' attention. She was, or people who were plowing, but she missed the people who were plowing. They came through earlier in the morning. The farmhouse that you passed before this one doesn't have any smoke coming out of its chimney. And there should be a family living there, a husband and wife, and a 2-year-old baby. and it's cold enough that if they don't have a fire going, they're going to die of cold. And if the fire's already burned out, then something bad might have already happened to them.
We can check it out.
Can I check if there's any footprints around the house? I mean, around the place.
This particular house, yes, there's footprints and stuff. They've started shoveling it out. But this isn't the house with the problem. It's the farm that you passed earlier when I asked you to make a perception check.
So let's head back there. Tell Sybil to just stay here, and we'll come back to her.
Okay. So you continue to snowplow your way to the next farm. I was going to say snowshoes might have helped, but this snow it doesn't hold its form enough. Maybe by tomorrow it will have melted and then frozen up again that you can walk on top. Fenix won't be able to. But you might. Okay, so as you approach the farm that you went past before, it's true. There's no smoke coming out of the chimney. Nothing is shoveled out. The plows went by, but the plows don't take care of. And by the way, you're assuming that they're horse-drawn plows. These are not motorized vehicles. I should say for the sake of the recording.
It's a snowplow.
Yeah, they have a team of Dragonborn that just walk down the trail.
Could I make an investigation check about the house now?
You may certainly make a check.
Okay. Because I'd like to see if there's anything now that we're looking at it again. I want to see.
And you're also a lot closer. From the road, there's very little you can see of this house other than, oh yeah, it's a house and there's a chimney.
It's a house.
You rolled a 4?
Yeah, I rolled a 4.
Okay, well, there's still some obvious stuff that you can see. This house, and now that you realize that the previous house that you were at, the windows are much smaller than you normally see for human construction, and they're higher up. Fenix would be able to look through these windows because of his height, but you would not be able to. And pretty much no one would be able to crawl through these. Even Panq would not be able to crawl through these windows. They're so small. There is, in fact, no smoke coming out of the chimney. The chimney is made of stone and mortar. The rest of the house is made of what looks to be very sturdy wood. Except for the door. The door was not quite as sturdy because it's in several pieces. And there is snow that is going from the outside in. The interior is dark, and you're outside during the day with snow everywhere, so it's bright enough outside that your dark vision is not helping you to look in right now. But from the amount of snow that's going in, this probably happened while it was still snowing. This might have happened yesterday, or it definitely has been snowing since this happened. You don't know how long ago it happened, though.
I'd like to use my stealth to approach the door.
Give me a roll.
Okay. And try to take a peek inside. 13.
Okay. So far as you know, nothing hears you.
Okay.
You don't hear you. So you're assuming no one else does either.
I can move silent on the snow.
Well, there's some crunching underfoot of the snow, but it's not that loud. You're going slowly.
Yeah.
So the sound of you going through the snow is not that different from like bits of snow clumps as the snow slowly starts to melt in the daylight, falling off of the roof. Someone might mistake one sound for the other.
And as I kind of peer in, I want to have like one hand on the can opener.
Okay, give me a perception check.
Okay. We are 14.
You see a lot of blood.
Any bodies?
You think you can make out one body on the far end of this room. There are 2 doors that are also on the far end. The main room that you're looking into appears to be a combination living room, kitchen, dining room. So there's a large table in the middle. There's various stuff on the table. It looks like it might have been set for dinner. There's a large hearth to one side where you would expect it to be, considering where the chimney was. The fire is indeed out. There's a few glowing coals, but there's nothing burning anymore.
Okay.
But there's blood splattered all over the place. There's even some on the ceiling.
Fenix, come here.
Okay.
All right, and we don't see anybody who looks alive, anybody hiding like that.
You don't see anyone hiding.
Right.
There's the one body you think that's on the far end.
Okay, I want to still use stealth to move inside and look around.
Okay, you continue. Well, give me another roll just because you're changing what you're walking through.
Okay. 11.
The floorboards creak underneath you,
Okay.
so you're not being as stealthy as you'd like to be.
Right.
Um,
I'm not going to say anything yet. I just want to kind of move in and just keep looking.
Okay, so that's definitely a body on the floor.
Right.
It appears to be a youngish human, maybe somewhere in his 20s, early 20s maybe. And a significant number of his insides are not on his inside anymore.
Oh.
All right. You said you could see there was like another doorway leading to like another room or something?
There are 2 doors on the wall opposite the door that you walked through.
Okay.
Neither one has windows.
Okay. I'm going to gesture to Fenix that I'm going to go check the room on the left.
I'll check the other room.
Okay. Are you going to open the doors simultaneously, or one of you open one while the other one waits, or what do you do?
Same time.
Oh, I was gonna say let's hold off, and like I'll open one door while he waits, and then when he opens his door, yeah.
Or we could go, or 2 of us can go in the one room at the same time.
You know what? That's probably even better.
Yeah.
I'll open up the door on the left
I'll be behind you.
slowly.
Okay, you open the door on the left, and it gives you the longest, loudest creak. It is right out of a horror movie. As and you see an empty bedroom. And by empty, I mean it's not splattered in blood. You don't see any bodies. There is a moderately sized bed. There's there's a wardrobe. There is a cradle on one end of the room. But this room appears to be untouched in regards to the havoc that is in the room you just came out of.
Oh, go ahead.
Can I see if there's anything like secretly hidden?
Give me a perception check.
I rolled a natural 20.
Okay. You do find a floorboard that is loose. And, like, all the floorboards are nailed in. You find one that isn't nailed. And when you lift it up, there's a small box underneath.
Yay.
What do you do with the box?
Something tells me something's gonna go wrong if I open it. This is. I'm gonna open it.
It has a clasp on the front of it that it looks like a small lock could be used to hold it shut, but there's no lock.
I'll open it.
Okay. You see 5 copper.
Is that money?
Yeah, 5 copper pieces. Congratulations, you have found this family's life savings.
God. Yeah, this family's dead. Well,
should the Paladin keep the money?
Does the Paladin choose to keep this family's life savings?
well, they're probably dead. I'll put it back.
Okay, you put it back.
Cause I'm a good guy.
Okay. That is the choice you make.
I'd like to approach the bed and look underneath.
You see a family of dust bunnies. They are not startled by your presence because they heard you come in. Also because they're dust bunnies and therefore just collections of dust and lint and stuff, and therefore they cannot be startled. They do not attack you. They are not gazebos.
I'm gonna walk up to Tom and say if he wants to go to the other room.
Hold on. There's a wardrobe in here, right?
Oh yeah.
There is a wardrobe, yes.
I want to approach it slowly and open it.
You find clothing.
Okay. I was just looking to see if maybe any kids were hiding in here.
Oh yeah. Every horror movie has that.
Yep. Okay, so if there's no other closed areas in here, we checked the wardrobe, we checked under the bed. If we've kind of swept the room, made sure there's nobody in here, then yeah, we can go to the next room.
Yeah, we did that.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'll let Fenix open the other door and I'll wait.
Well, yeah, okay. I'll open the other door.
You're the brave paladin, so.
Okay, you open the other door and you see a stairway leading down.
Yes!
It is dug directly into the ground. The wall is made of dirt. There are planks for the steps themselves, but from what you can see in this low light situation, it appears that you're walking into a root cellar.
Should you go down first, just in case?
That's what I'm thinking. I got a dark vision.
And because if the planks are like tiny, if I jump on them, they're probably gonna fall. So.
Can I make a perception check before I do that?
Go right ahead.
6. It's stairs.
Stairs.
You see exactly what you would expect to see if you were walking down into a root cellar. Which
Alrighty.
You got dirt walls, and there's shelves that are up against the walls. You're not all the way down the stairs yet.
Okay.
But from your position on the stairs, you can see that once you get down there, the room is probably going to be lined with shelves that have various fruits, vegetables, meats, anything that they don't want to go bad over the winter.
Okay, so I get down in there. Any other doorways or anything, or?
No, it appears to be one largish room that is about the same size as the entire structure on the first floor.
Okay.
And as you look up, you can actually see through some spots where there's floorboards.
That's suspicious.
Well, it's not like you can look up and see, oh, I can see everything in that room. It's like you just see a little bit of light filtering through, but the boards aren't 100% close together.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's not enough light to ruin your dark vision, so it's just enough that, oh, yeah, I can see there's something.
I'll go down as well.
Okay. You see less than Panq saw. It's a dark room, and it's a root cellar. If you want to rate it for potatoes, you could rate it for potatoes, but you're not exactly that hungry right now.
Yeah, potatoes out of 20.
No, we're not gonna take anything.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna come out of here then. Go back up to the room where the blood was.
Okay, give me one more perception check as you go up the stairs.
Both of us?
Both of you.
18.
14.
Okay, so Panq, you didn't notice this when you were going around before, because how often do you look at the ceiling? But as you're going up the stairs, you are looking up, because you're going up, so why wouldn't you? There is an opening in the ceiling that leads into some type of loft. There's a ladder that comes down from that, but the bottom end of the ladder is broken off.
Is my
So
height...
you would have seen the ladder hanging down if you hadn't been looking up.
Is my height big enough to jump to that ladder? That's broken off?
You could probably do an athletics check. It is low enough that you could lift Panq up there, so he wouldn't have to do an athletics check. But you think that your character doesn't know what an athletics check is, but your character is relatively confident that he could probably climb up there. Worst case scenario, you move a bench over and climb up on that to get up there.
Tell you what, just pick me up, and I'll go take a look.
Gnome.
Don't toss the gnome.
Alright. So I'm guessing that's your strength.
Okay, so you lift Panq up there?
Yeah, it's a 17 plus 3. 20.
Okay, so not a natural 20, but you do a great job of lifting the gnome up. Panq, you feel like you were flying comfortably. So the loft is quite dark. Your dark vision allows you to see quite well in here. There is almost no light in here. Maybe some light would leak through the roof otherwise, but the thick layer of snow on top of the roof is doing a great job blocking out whatever would leak in. You found the mom and her child.
They're alive or they're dead.
Yeah, they're in pretty much the same state as the guy downstairs.
Alright, I'll call down and tell Fenix that I found them and that they're dead.
You have to jump down here.
Yep.
So while you're doing that, Fenix, give me a perception check.
God. 19.
You hear the floorboards creak behind you.
I was gonna say take my sword out and try to swing, but I'm not gonna do that.
I'm gonna call down. What's wrong?
I may or may not have someone behind me, and I'm just gonna slowly turn around.
You slowly turn around to see the farmer standing. He is not alive. He is still pretty much still, his insides are still on his outside. But he's now standing, looking at you with frosted over eyes, and coming towards you.
Yeah, we're done.
What?
Roll for initiative.
Alright. Just him or both of us? Because I'm still up in the...
Yeah, you're still up there, but you can still roll for initiative.
Okay.
Because combat has started.
Okay, just making sure. I got a 10.
Okay, I got a 18.
That's with your bonus?
No.
So your 18 was also with... Let me look up your character sheet.
I have no initiative.
Yes, your initiative bonus is +0.
Yeah.
Just Logan. Roll another d20 and tell me what the number is.
13.
Okay. The zombie also rolled an 18, so I wanted to see which of you was going to go slightly before the other one.
Okay.
All right, so the zombie goes first. What's your armor class? Because it's going after Fenix.
16.
That's a definite hit.
Oh god.
He's not holding any weapons. He just swings with his fist.
Slaps me in the face.
Let's make sure I roll the right die for damage. You don't want me rolling a d20 for that. 7 points of damage.
Jesus.
He smacks you pretty hard.
He's
Right
like
in the center of the chest, actually. You feel it through your chainmail.
It's like if I was a kid and my mom was like, ah.
Well, fun fact, chainmail is not quite as effective, and we're talking real-life physics, not D&D physics. Chainmail is not that effective against bludgeoning weapons. It's why maces were such a popular weapon.
Especially this.
They're great against stopping slashing damage.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's when this guy was alive, he probably never could have punched you this hard, but he just punched you for 7 points of damage. But now it's your turn to fight back.
I'm going to pierce through him with my longsword.
All right, give me a roll for attack.
Natty 20 plus strength, which is 23.
Well, remember it's plus 5 total, not just plus your strength.
Oh, so 25.
Okay. Hold on, you rolled a natural 20?
You rolled a natural 20?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're using a longsword, which is a d8, and your strength bonus is 3. So because this is a critical hit, you're going to roll 2 d8s and then add 3 to that total.
Isn't that the damage one?
Yeah, you're rolling for damage, and your strength bonus is plus 3, but you only add that once. Even though it's a critical hit, so you're rolling 2 d8s, there's only 1 strength bonus.
Okay.
However, you're also going to add plus 2 because you're using a one-handed weapon and you have the dueling thing for being
plus 2 damage.
So your total roll with all the math done is 2 d8s, and then you're going to add 5 because it's your strength plus the dueling bonus. Someone should have warned him there was math. It's okay, I feel the same way anytime I'm rolling numbers.
So I rolled 20.
No, you roll 2 d8s. You need a d8 for this, because you're rolling damage for a longsword.
And D8s are the cube-looking dice, right?
They can be.
Their sides are triangular.
Okay, I got you. I rolled 2 times and I got a 7 or total.
So the 2 rolls add up to a 7?
Yes.
Okay. And then to that we add the 5 points of damage.
Jeez.
And that number is?
That's... Okay, why? That's 12. I'm middle school, I can't even do shit like that.
That's okay, I know adults who can't do simple math either. It is something that you have to maintain with practice. Okay, well, you don't kill the zombie with this strike, but you slash through him, and he doesn't look like he's held together as much as he was before. Now, granted, there wasn't much holding him together in the beginning, because he died very messily, but you have done significant damage to this thing. It is now Panq's turn.
Okay.
Now, Panq, you are about 7 feet off the ground.
Right. I have another idea. I want to turn around and see if the mother and daughter are up yet.
Oh no.
You can do that as a free action. They are both still down.
All right. I'm going to go over to them, and I'm going to bash each one's head with the can opener. Because I don't want them getting up.
Okay. Give me an attack roll.
Have to roll to hit them still?
Well, a head is an aimed shot, so in this case,
Okay.
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
It's not like you're just trying to hit the body somewhere. You specifically want to hit the head.
Right. Okay. So it's going to be... let's see. I got a 10.
Okay, what's your bonus to damage?
It is +2. So it's 1d6.
Okay, so for these, I'm not going to ask you to roll for damage. Head goes squish.
Okay.
But
So I want
that's
to...
for one of them.
Yes. Okay, so now I should just roll to hit the other one?
Well, not yet, unless you want to do a bonus. Do you have
No.
the ability to do 2 attacks?
No. Attacks per action 1. So, okay, so I'll wait.
Later on, you will have opportunities to do more than 1 attack per turn, but level 2.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's the end of the round. Next round, the zombie takes another swing at Fenix. Oh dear.
20, I'm guessing.
Yep.
God.
11 points of damage.
Oh my! 4 health.
Well, it's your turn for revenge.
Well, I'm going to... Okay, so the door with the, like, going down is still there, right?
Yeah, because none of you told me that you were doing this, I'm assuming all the doors are open.
Yeah, the doors are open.
So, I want to push him into that room and make him fall down.
You might be able to do that, but he's actually between... But you are between him and that doorway.
Alright, then I'm just gonna have to use lay on hands on myself.
Okay, how many points do you heal?
10 points I have to.
Okay. So you use your turn to heal yourself for 10 points.
Oh. Wait, does that count as a...
That's your attack. That's your action.
Okay, it's not a spell.
It doesn't count as a spell, but it is an ability that's using up your action for that turn.
Okay.
Okay.
10 points of damage.
Panq, your turn.
Okay, I'm going to bash the skull of the other one.
Give me another roll.
Alright, so 11.
That's easily a hit. Second skull goes squish.
Okay.
Alright, start of the next round. How is this zombie going to react?
Are they gonna punch me again?
The zombie takes another swing at you, but at this point, the surprise of, oh, this thing is up and walking around has worn off, and you are able to move out of the way of its swing. It actually misses you this time. So now it's Fenix's turn to attack.
Wait. I'm just gonna slice him up again.
Okay. Roll to hit.
Okay, does 14 hit?
14 is a hit. Roll for damage. And this is not a crit, so you're just going to roll 1d8 and add 5.
9 points of damage. Plusing the 5, which is 9.
Okay, so you're not quite sure how this zombie is holding itself together, but it's still holding itself together. But it not by much.
This is The Walking Dead right now.
The Walking Dead that is you're not quite sure why it isn't dead again.
Yeah.
But it's a significant part of its rib cage is no longer attached. That has fallen to the ground, along with one of its arms.
Sweet.
Punk's turn.
Okay. I want to see if I can do this. What I'd like to do is I need to move back over to the hole in the ceiling, so that I can, from there, what I would like to do is use reckless attack to basically jump down over this thing and see if I can just like swing the can opener down on its head. But basically just jump down and attack, I guess.
Okay. So, refresh my memory. How does reckless attack work?
So starting at the second level, you can throw aside all concern for defense to attack with a fierce desperation. When you make your first attack on your turn, you can decide to attack recklessly. Doing so gives you an advantage on your melee weapon attack rolls using strength during this turn, but attack rolls against you have an advantage until your next turn.
Okay.
So
I'm going to have you do an athletics check because you are jumping.
Okay.
And
Alright,
and
cool.
it's I'm going to say that it's positioned close enough to the broken ladder that you can jump down on it, but if you mistime this, you're just going to hit the ground and those floorboards won't see it coming. But
right. Okay.
that's not going to help you.
All right. So
It's like home.
gonna roll my athletics. 18.
Oh, you are filled with finesse and grace, and the judge
Slow
is
motion
holding
music.
up like 9.5. The Russian judge holds up a 5,
Just slow motion music going on.
and right now Tom and I are probably we're obviously the only two that are old enough to get that reference.
Yes. Yes.
I'm
Yep.
Okay, so you fly through the air with the greatest of ease. Roll to attack
Alrighty. So,
with advantage, if I remember correctly.
yeah. 9.
With advantage, you got a 9.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Luck is in your favor because that's a hit. Give me
Alrighty.
some damage rolls.
So- Alright. 1d6. Plus 2. 9.
Okay, so I'm going to step back from the game just a little bit to tell you something about a special ability that zombies have in 5th edition. It is called Undead Fortitude. If damage reduces the zombie to 0 hit points, it must make a Constitution saving throw with a DC of 5 plus the damage taken, unless the damage is radiant or from a critical hit. On a success, the zombie drops to 1 hit point instead. So I was rolling the Constitution save while you were rolling damage.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 4.
dead.
So 5 plus 9. Now it has a Constitution bonus of plus 3. That's a 7. You give a wild gnomish battle cry, as you already did. I love those gnomish battle cries. And basically, Fenix weakened it enough and cut out enough of this thing that you connect to the head and just go straight down through the spinal column and put a dent in the floor underneath. You would not have been able to do this without Fenix weakening it greatly.
My jaw just dropped.
But yes, so Fenix, from your perspective, you're fighting this thing by yourself. You're hearing noise going on upstairs. You don't know what that is. And then just as you're like, okay, one more hit and I'm going to finish this off, a gnome falls through the ceiling and cuts the zombie in half with a wrench.
I'm just
Smash.
I'm just gonna look at him like, God, filled with rage.
Right. Let's get out of here.
Okay.
So we need to go back and tell Sybil what we found.
Yeah.
Alright, so when we get back to there, is she still outside or did she wisely...
As you approach the house, she was looking through one of the windows. Was basically watching from her house as much as she could.
Okay.
It's a long distance, but
Yeah.
a Dragonborn going through the snow does stand out. Your clothing is dark enough that it stands out against the white snow.
Okay.
So she does come out to greet you as you get closer.
Well, we got bad news for you.
They're dead, aren't they?
They are. I don't know what happened if they were attacked. It seemed like they were attacked from someone came into the house, and the father fought bravely, but they didn't make it.
What did you do with the bodies?
We took care of them. Don't worry.
So they're tied up then?
No. I put them down so they won't get back up.
That doesn't do it. They'll still get up.
All right. So we have to tie them. We have to tie them up.
If you kill the undead, they come back up again in a day or two. Nothing keeps them down except for fire or total
Oh,
dismemberment.
we can do that. We can do that. Fire's easy.
Get me!
For the record, you are aware enough that if you burned that house to the ground, it probably wouldn't get hot enough to totally eliminate the bodies.
Oh no, I have another idea.
I am concerned and intrigued.
Wait, what's going on?
Remember, chaotic neutral. So,
But there's not enough fuel in that house, if you're including the house, to totally incinerate those bodies.
well, you know what? Then maybe I don't care that much. So, Punk's ready to leave. It's up to you, Fenix.
Alright.
You're the good guy.
What's the thing again?
You're the good guy.
Yes, I am.
It's your call.
So the information that you have available to you at this point is, you know that currently everything in that house that you've seen is dead.
Mm-hmm.
But there's 3 corpses, and I'm recapping this for Logan's benefit specifically. There are 3 corpses that, if you do nothing, will become zombies again.
Well, we're gonna have to do it then.
So what do you do?
We're gonna have to burn them somehow. I mean, they've talked about tying them up, but all they're gonna do is just be tied up zombies, and just so to me, burn them is the best way.
Or at least try to.
There's not enough. You can't get anything hot enough here to do that, but they do have the crematorium in Coomridge Keep.
Oh, this is so much work.
It's where we always take our dead.
lazy gnome.
This is just getting me so much work. So then we gotta go all the way back and get them, and then carry them to a crematorium.
I'm gonna whisper and
Give both of you give me an intelligence check.
this is not gonna go well.
Yeah. Let's see. 2.
Okay. I rolled. Oh my god.
Please tell me you didn't roll a 1.
I rolled a 21.
Not bad. Okay, so Fenix, you're putting 2 and 2 together. You both are putting two together, but Fenix got 4 and Panq got fish. Not quite sure how you got 2 plus 2 equals fish, but that's where you are right now. Maybe it's because it's close to lunchtime and you're getting kind of hungry. Fenix, however, you realize that you are in an area where you just had a blizzard the day before going through the night, and the main roads are already plowed out. This is not as backwater an area as you have encountered in your travels before. There is a significant amount of infrastructure. if you tie up the bodies, there's going to be a patrol that comes through that can do the cleanup of picking them up and taking them to the crematorium. There will be a patrol that comes through. This person that you were talking to, whose name escapes me at the moment, and I just told you her name.
Sybil.
Sybil. She even told you she was hoping to catch a guard patrol or one of the plowing crews. So you know that routinely people come through. You just need to make sure that the zombies don't get up and start walking around before that crew comes through.
To bring out your dead crew.
I gotta be right back. But, you have rope, Tom.
I have rope, yeah. Alright, we go back.
Okay. Everything's just the way you left it.
Okay. I need to get lifted, then back up into the roof or whatever, the ceiling, or the attic, whatever it was.
Okay. I'm not even going to require a roll for that.
Okay.
You do what you need to do.
I'll drag the bodies down, then just throw them down on the floor through the hole.
They make a sickening squelch sound.
When I jump down, I want to land on try to land on them again, just to give them another squish.
Panq is a bad person, and he should feel bad.
He doesn't.
No, he doesn't. He's chaotic neutral. Okay.
All right, and we'll drag them outside, and we'll use the rope, and we'll just gonna tie them up, just like one. Just like tying three branches together, we're just gonna tie them all up and.
Okay, you do that.
And then
nothing you're doing requires a roll.
Okay, so then it's like almost like we know trash day is tomorrow, so we're just gonna like take them and just leave them by the side of the road.
That's so bad. I mean, it fits your character, but man, that's so bad. So wrong.
That's the character.
And I think
a little bit of me.
Logan just went okay. Oh, Logan, you back?
Yeah.
Okay. Both of you give me a perception check.
Alright.
16.
Oh my god.
What did you roll?
A 1.
Okay, so after his remarkable insight earlier, Fenix is quite proud of himself, and he's just going through the motions. He's also a bit distracted by the horrible way that Panq is treating the bodies.
I just fart.
I don't know where that came from. Actually, no, I do, and that's horrible. But that's depending on how you take where did that come from. So Fenix is oblivious, but Panq gets the feeling like he's being watched.
Alright. Gonna look around.
And not from the farm across the way where Sybil is.
Gonna look down.
No, they're down.
Alright.
They're down. They can't. Two of them can't even look at you with judging dead eyes because you squished their skulls.
Good. Alright, I'm just gonna look around then. Just look back to the farmhouse or whatever it was.
Farmhouse is as empty as it has been. You got empty fields. You can't see the other farmhouses from here because it's sort of like rolling hills.
Yeah.
Like you can see smoke trails coming up from various farms. And
can I use
top of the chimney or two? But that's it. I'm sorry.
Can I use my danger sense?
Refresh my memory. What does that do?
Let's see what it does here. You have advantage. You gain an uncanny sense of when things nearby aren't as they should be, giving you an edge when you dodge away from danger. You have advantage on dexterity saving throws against effects that you can see, such as traps and spells. To gain this, you cannot be blinded, deafened, or incapacitated. That sounds like something more like in combat.
In combat, or if you're walking into a trap type of thing where you need to do a dexterity saving throw, you get advantage.
Okay. Okay. Never mind. I won't use it then.
Okay, but as you look around, you think you see someone briefly, but then you realize it's a scarecrow.
Fenix, take a look at that. I want to go point at the scarecrow.
With your tiny little door. Victoria's tiny little gnome hands. Okay. I will look at the scarecrow.
You see a scarecrow.
Alright, I thought I saw something.
It looks exactly like a scarecrow. It is probably the most scarecrowish scarecrow that you have ever seen, filling the role of a scarecrow.
I'll just look at Tom and saying, "Why did you tell me to look at a scarecrow?"
Something about it. All right, well, I'm done then. We can just go take the bodies and dump them for the trash guys.
Yeah.
All right. So
I'll let Fenix carry him. He's stronger.
Yeah, sure.
Well, you don't need to carry them. You tied them up outside the farm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Just until we got them to the curb. So.
Panq is a bad person, and he should feel bad. I know he doesn't, but he should. So they're tied up at the farmhouse to like one of the posts that's holding up the porch roof or something. So they're not going anywhere. A patrol will be able to come through and pick them up when you let them know.
All right.
It's roughly around noontime. You can continue further to the southeast to investigate the goblins, or you can go back. Or you can do something else.
Well,
we really haven't gotten where we were looking, so...
You might as well keep on searching, man.
How long does it take us to get back to, Coomeridge?
If you head back, you get there for a late supper.
We ought to head back.
Yeah.
Don't want to get stuck out here at night. Alright, so we'll head back.
Okay. The travel back is uneventful. As you get to the edge of Coomeridge Keep, you do let the guards know about what happened to the family. They know who Sybil Baines is, so they know where to look. They know what family you're talking about when you tell them. They're of course very upset about this, but they thank you for letting them know, and they say that they'll take care of it.
Okay.
And you return to the inn.
Before I'm going to find a bank of snow and clean the can opener. I want to get all the zombie juice off it.
I'm assuming you did that before you hiked back.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, alright.
And that seems to be a good stopping point for tonight's adventure.